Hello, my name is David Bonikowsky, and this is my wife, Raquel. I've been a missionary here in the city of Idun since 2012, and my wife's been here with me since 2016 when we got married.
We want to say thank you for your interest in our ministry, and we ask you for prayers now and the future.
In this video, we'd like to tell you a little bit about our ministry, what it's about, and then describe how you can have a part in what the Lord is doing here in the Basque Country.
I was born in the capital city of Spain, Madrid, although my family is from the Canary Islands. My father was saved thanks to the testimony of his best friend who learned about the gospel from the Salvation Army. My mom was saved at a Salvation Army youth camp. Soon afterward, they fell in love and got married. My father went on to seminary and became a pastor, and he served in the Salvation Army for 10 years. But over time, he realized that a lot of what he was being taught didn't match what he learned from the Bible, so he decided to leave the Salvation Army. The Lord led him to a Baptist church, and he has been the pastor there for the last 15 years. I helped in the ministry until David and I met, and I joined the church here in Irun.
I was raised here in Spain, and I've lived in the country most of my life. It's been a massive help to the ministry that I grew up here and didn't have to spend time learning the language and the culture like most missionaries have to do. I come from a fairly long line of missionaries to the country. Both sets of my grandparents came to Spain about 44 years ago when Spain first opened up its borders to foreign missions. My grandparents, Al and Helga Bonikowsky, came to northern Spain, here where we are, and my other grandparents, Flay and Margaret Allen, went to the south. My parents, Andy and Mimi, started the church they serve in now, about an hour from Idun where I live. They also direct the Ayerdi farmhouse, a ministry that many of you watching this video have probably had a part in.
Right behind me is the church where Raquel and I serve here in Idun. It's called Iglesia Bautista Bíblica de Idun. The church was started by my grandparents, and we just voted in a new Spanish pastor a few years ago.
I share the weekly preaching responsibility with Pastor Israel, and I help lead up other parts of the church ministry, like the youth and the music ministries. The church is really growing. The Lord is transforming hearts. This auditorium is actually new. We recently had to move the location of our auditorium in the building because we ran out of space. Now we have a lot more space than we used to, and it continues to fill up because the Lord keeps on bringing new people. This hall is right behind the auditorium. It's what used to be our main auditorium. Now we use it as a fellowship hall and use it for church activities. Just this morning, after the morning service, we had that most traditional of Baptist practices, the potluck dinner. We filled the room up with tables and people and food that everyone brought and had a great time together fellowshipping. We're very, very grateful for the building that God has provided. Very few churches in Spain are able to purchase a building. It's very expensive, and it's impossible to build a new building here. So we're very grateful for the place that we have. We use every square foot of it for the ministry. Pray that we'll be able to continue to have more of an impact in the city of Idun where we live. Our city has over 60,000 inhabitants, and realistically speaking, this is the only traditional conservative Bible preaching church in the city and in the surrounding area. When I came here to Spain to serve full-time in the year 2012, I came without having any real missionary support. I lived with my grandparents and had very few living expenses that I needed to cover. Now, throughout the years, a couple of key churches and some generous individuals have provided missionary support, whether it's through monthly donations or one-time gifts. And God has used these people to provide for me every step of the way. But now that I'm married and my living situation has changed, our expenses are a lot higher than when I came to Spain. So Raquel and I are both working secular jobs in order to pay for our living expenses here in Spain. We're very grateful for the jobs God has provided, but we're praying that God will allow us to raise some more support so that we can spend a little bit more time in the ministry. Right now we're receiving about 25% of the support that we need to live here as missionaries in Spain. We're praying that God will raise that so that we'll be able to spend a little bit more time serving in the church. those of you watching this video now, I'd like to request just two things from you. Number one, please consider following our ministry more closely with the goal of praying regularly for our ministry here in Irun. If you'd like, you can sign up for email updates, or you can follow either one of us on social media just to keep up to date on what the Lord is doing over here. More than anything else, we covet your prayers, and it's a tremendous encouragement to hear often of brothers and sisters in Christ who are all over the world following us and praying for the ministry here. Secondly, if you would, please consider supporting us financially or sharing this video with others who might be interested in helping the ministry financially. We're very grateful for many of you who've helped in the past, but Raquel and I are praying for the opportunity to spend a little bit more time investing in the spread of the gospel here in Irun. We'd love to see the Lord continue to work here, and I'm sure that He has a lot more plans for the future here. Thank you so much for your interest in our ministry, taking the time to watch this video and getting to know us. And I hope that we'll have the chance to connect personally and share some more detail about what God is doing here in Spain. God bless.